Hello, this is Nadia and this is She Builds Again. I am so excited to be here today because we get to talk about something that is super important, which is finances. She Builds Again is all about the woman who is rebuilding, whether it comes to life or faith or finances, because that has been the season that I've been in over the last 3 years, and I want to talk about it and I want to give you tools and inspiration so that you can rebuild if that's where you are also. This episode is all about how to rebuild your finances after disappointment. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about where my money mindset is now, where it was previously, how it's changed, and just some lessons I'm learning around finances and where it is that we're hoping to get to over the next 5 to 10 years as a family, but even just individually myself. And so the first thing I want to talk about is money mindset and how that's changed for me over the last few years. I am a woman who is in my late 30s. I have 2 kids. I'm also married. We relocated 3 years ago to Southeast Asia, and that has been a blessing for many reasons. And so my money mindset, I would say even 10 years ago, was more about hoarding, saving so much because I was afraid that it was going to run out. But I would say on the flip side, there was also a healthy side to that aggressive saving mentality, because I always believed that if I saved and I had maybe $20,000, $40,000, whatever the case may be, in my bank account, it gave me freedom. It gave me options. It meant that I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. It also meant that if I was in a bad situation, for instance, I've been in situations where I just didn't like my job and I didn't want to keep enduring and suffering and just sitting in my cubicle and dreaming about a different life. And because I had that savings, I was able to take bigger leaps. I was able to leave my job. I was able to figure it out. I was able to give myself time and space to start a new business. And I would say having those nest eggs was really reassuring for me. It meant that I didn't have to stay stuck for very long. And so saving for me has been a blessing and also a way for me to think bigger about what my life could look like, not just staying in a situation that is unhealthy or toxic, but giving myself permission, because I have a little bit of wiggle room with my budget, to take bigger and calculated risks. I tried to think really frugally or prudently about my finances. I never really bought a house where I was before because it was very expensive and I didn't really feel like it was a good investment for me. There were 2 areas that I would splurge in back then. Travel, because I feel like those memories are going to stay with you forever and you only live once. And number 2, the other thing that I would say I invested in, especially in the last 10 years or so, was coaching. I paid for retreats and masterminds and coaching one-on-one and group coaching because I really do believe in them. For me, I'm not really someone who has benefited much from therapy, but when I focus on the future and what I'm trying to build, that for me just gets me unstuck, gets me moving forward, and has been super powerful. So fast forward to where I am today, where I am now. I'm living in Southeast Asia. Our cost of living is lower, which means we get more. We probably spend the same amount, I would say, but we get more for our money, which is incredible. I'm still someone who believes in saving. However, we've been taking a lot more risks. So we are building a property here for our family to live in because it saves on rental costs. But we're also building an investment property that will start to bring in an income for us in hopefully the next year or 2. And so because of that, it allows me to think bigger when it comes to my plans for early retirement and what's next with our family finances. I see money as a tool. I want to use money to invest in myself and allow me to feel my most healthy, vibrant, beautiful version of myself. And so for me in this season, that means taking care of myself, taking care of my skin, making sure that I get massages and I take care of my body, that I exercise, and all of that requires money. And so I'm using my money more so to care for my health, to care for my mindset, to care for just me, and making sure that I pour back into myself as much as possible so that I can then go out and hopefully be the best mom, best woman that I can possibly be. So that's where I am in terms of my money mindset. I'm going to answer this question: how did my money situation change in the last 2 or 3 years? I would say in the last 2 or 3 years, my money situation has changed because I had a business that I was operating in Bermuda. It was a PR and communications company. And over the last 2 or 3 years, I've had another child. And also, that work started to feel less and less aligned. I still do freelance writing, I still have a few clients that I work with, but it wasn't something I did because it was joyful or meaningful. It was more so something I did because I had the skill set and I had the clients and I was able to do it. And so as that's dwindled and gone down, I've been making space and making room for what's next and the next version of myself that I'm stepping into. And for me, I know for a fact that version of me is a coach. That version of me is working with women. That version of me is leading retreats. That version of me is inspiring other women and communicating with them and listening to them, holding their hand and cheering for them as they go about their own transitions in life, these big transitions that we just need support with. And so I am so ready because it's been a long time in the making. I've done a coaching certification now twice, back in 2016 and then again last year in 2024. And so just trusting that everything has happened for a reason and that I am finally ready to step into that next version of myself and make room for her. I'm so thankful that there are other opportunities, and this is why I am sharing more of my story and getting on YouTube. Last but not least, what small steps am I taking to feel empowered of working to build a new stream of income, not only with our investment properties, but with my coaching and other skills that I want to use to help women? So I would say that I'm taking it one step at a time, but I'm also working a lot on my mindset and confidence. In the past, I've had a lot of imposter syndrome around coaching. And I think it was because I'm from Bermuda. It is a very small island, but it's also an island that's dominated by professions like lawyer, reinsurance, banking, all of these desk jobs that honestly do not fit me, do not fit my personality, do not fit my tolerance for freedom. And so I'm in this place now where I am taking it one step at a time so that I can step into that new version of me. I feel like the caterpillar in the cocoon and trying to break free into that new level, that new place. And just reminding myself that it doesn't have to be scary, that I can be patient with it, that dreams don't happen overnight, that I get to work with one woman at a time and I get to build from there. And just reminding myself that I'm ready, that God has given me everything I need in this season to be able to walk this out. And He's prepared me. He's more than prepared me for where I am right now. And thankfully, He was very gentle with me with taking away my other career. And I'm still actually doing a little bit of that kind of work. But He's been so patient with me so that it's not overnight. It wasn't a yank. It was like a slow distancing, a slow closure, because I just needed that. I wasn't ready, and I think it would have been too scary. So that's where I am right now. I hope that if you are in a season where you are rebuilding financially, where you have these big goals for where you want to see your family or your finances go in the next 5 to 10 years, for us, I really do envision early retirement and just being able to pour into my family and pour into myself in my early 50s beyond. And so that's where I am, and I will be keeping you posted on the journey as I continue to walk in faith and just trust that God has my back and has my hand this entire time. Thank you for listening. If you have any feedback or you want to share anything in the comments, please do. I'd love to hear what is the one thing that you are learning right now as it relates to your finances. So please share in the comments. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, because I'm growing and practicing and trying to get better and better with each video. So I'll see you in the next one.